latched on to diversity so much?
Oh, he's a bigot. So it's a belief that there's a hierarchy of racial groups and that his group is superior, genetically superior. He believes that.
Wrong.
That is absolutely
wrong.
Proved over and over again.
Wrong.
Oh my God.
He's latched on to diversity so much.
Oh, he's a bigot. So it's a belief that there's a hierarchy of racial groups and that his group is superior, genetically superior. He believes that.
Wrong.
That is absolutely
wrong.
Proved over and over again.
Wrong. Racism is evil.
All right, so I'm going to interrupt a lot, and we're not going to watch this entire video. This man just said that Donald Trump believes that his race is superior to others. John Legend. There's actually a lot of people out here that do believe that they are superior beings. I wouldn't say that I've heard Trump echo those sentiments. But there's actually a lot of people out here that do believe, perhaps, that you could take away the chosen people, right? Well, if they're the chosen ones, what does that make me? So there's perhaps some people that you could address and have this energy for. But why have it for Trump? It's also they can manipulate us. It's all to manipulate us into thinking that Trump is something that he's not and to hide what he's actually said. But let's go through the video. I'm going to try to shut up as much as I can.
And that his group is superior, genetically superior. He believes that.
Wrong.
That is absolutely
wrong.
Proved over and over again.
Wrong. Racism is evil. And those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists.
What are you even talking about?
I'm going to fast forward a little bit. I'm going to fast forward so we can get through as much of the video as possible.
Shout
out to Officer Tatum, though.
Fame information. Like to say it's a lie. And I don't know why. The people of the melanin feel the need that they need to be disingenuous about Donald Trump. Many of these people loved him. Many of these people supported him. Many of these people had nothing bad to say about the man. And then he became a Republican. All of a sudden, they drinking the Kool-Aid with Trump's derangement syndrome. But I'm going to let you listen to the clip. Don't believe me. Listen to what John Legend said, which is absolutely insane. And I'm going to debunk everything he said. Roll the clip.
America made a decision that I strongly disagree with. And it seems that we are reaping the whirlwind right now, putting someone who is a terrible leader, especially in crisis. He's already out blaming people, misinforming people, dividing people, when a smart and responsible and good political way to handle it would have been to bring people together.
Oh, absolutely. That's what you want.
Be a comfort.
Yo. This is what happens. These are the conversations that occur in the cafeterias or at the cubicles between the people that are hating on the execs in the C-suite, hating on the leadership of the CEO, the owner, the board, the CEO who founded the company. You've never founded anything in your life. You've never started anything in your life. You have no entrepreneurial history, nothing. But we know how this goes. The people that should be thanking that CEO for the reason that you even have a job and you're able to put food on your table because you were never courageous enough to take the risk that that CEO took to be able to hire all these people. But now you think that you can do a better job than that CEO. This is the person who's watching the football game, who was trash in high school, talking shit about the quarterback in the NFL that just had a bad game. This is what this is. Everybody feels like they can talk shit from the sideline and make these points that aren't, well, you should just be bringing people together. What does that even mean, bro? Whose side is trying to divide more people? The liberals or the on the conservative end?
Ew. Sorry to interrupt the video. We got a new challenge. 20,000 by the end of April. We fell short in March, but we're gonna get our goal this month. Thank you all in advance for those that are gonna continue to like, subscribe, maybe even leave some comments and let us know how we're doing. And on that note, let me let y'all get back to the video and I'll see y'all soon. Ew.
Now, you know, you got radicals on both sides, but whose party is basically they don't even have any foundational values, but what if you had to say which party's more divisive? I'm pretty sure it would be the Democrats. And that's who he just capes for time at
In chief, you know.
Why do you think that he's latched on to diversity so much?
Oh, he's a bigot. So
It's a belief that there's a hierarchy of racial groups and that his group is superior, genetically superior. He believes that.
Right.
Whenever he talks about competence and qualifications, any white man will do for him. Look at the last guy who was Secretary of Defense. He was a 4-star general, supremely qualified black man. And then see who he puts in after him. That's the level of bigotry that he has. Any white man is better than that.
And it's funny that he says this because I have a highlight tape of Donald Trump debunking racist people, debunking, what's his name? The guy that, and I don't even remember his name now, the guy that was a racist white supremacist, David Duke or somebody. Donald Trump has denounced that dude 100,000 times. Donald Trump has always been against racists. I don't know Donald Trump to support any racists. Let's play that clip real quick so we can just put this to bed. Roll the clip.
David Duke just joined. A bigot, a racist, a problem.
Would you repudiate David Duke?
Sure.
David Duke and robocalls are out again, the white supremacist movement supporting you. Do you have any words for that?
Well, I disavow. David Duke endorsed me? Okay. All right. I disavow. Okay?
When we looked at it and looked at the question, I disavowed David Duke. So I've disavowed David Duke all weekend long on Facebook, on Twitter, and obviously it's never enough.
So are you prepared right now to make a clear and unequivocal statement renouncing the support of all white supremacists?
Of course I am. Of course I am.
When Chris joined, we had a news conference, and they asked me the exact same question. I said, I disavow. I disavowed then. I disavowed today on ABC with George Stephanopoulos. I disavowed again.
David Duke is a bad person who I disavowed on numerous occasions over the years.
I totally disavow the Ku Klux Klan. I totally disavow David Duke. Ultimately, he got to the Ku Klux Klan, which obviously I'm going to disavow. I've rejected David Duke. I've rejected the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan.
David Duke is saying to his supporters and followers, vote for Donald Trump. White supremacists are saying, vote. Do you want those votes?
No, I don't want them, and I don't want him to say it.
And you don't want the supporters?
No, I don't want anything.
What do you think of white supremacists, by the way?
I don't like any group of hate.
David Duke announced his Senate candidacy, claiming your agenda.
Are you ready before you ask the question?
Newt Gingrich said every Republican should repudiate this guy no matter what it takes.
And I do. Rebuked. Is that okay? Rebuked.
Rebuked.
Done.
Do you want white supremacists to vote for you?
No, I don't at all. Not at all.
His campaign is denouncing a show of support from the KKK's official newspaper, as in the Ku Klux Klan.
In the same New York Times interview, he denounced white supremacists. He denounced the neo-Nazis who support him.
Racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs.
Whoa. I got a question for y'all. And that just triggered it. The criminals and thugs. What does that sound like? What does that sound like? Hold on. That reminds me of something. That happened in Baltimore. I think there was a Freddie Gray situation where a lot of black people took to the streets to show how pissed off they were, right? And so Donald Trump's calling the racist criminals and thugs. He's calling the white supremacists, the David Dukes, the Ku Klux Klan, the neo-Nazis. He's calling them criminals and thugs. But then I remembered this video.
My understanding is you've got some of the same organizers now going back into these communities to try to clean up in the aftermath of a handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who tore up the place.
Let's get back to Trump. Let's get back to Trump.
Including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. I spoke out forcefully against hatred, bigotry, and violence, and strongly condemned the neo-Nazis, the white supremacists.
I don't even know how much of this we're going to play, but I really just, there's a good clip of this. Hold on, good clip of this. I really wanted to play this because even when I watched this video yesterday, I was reminded, I was looking at the dates. I'm like 2016. I think there was some from 15, 2017, this one. And all these clips, I can remember me 9 years ago, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, and how I looked at, I did not see any of this stuff with Trump. I remember literally thinking the same thing, like, yo, he wouldn't even, like, he's out here, he's saying that he wants the support of David Duke and the KKK. He won't condemn the KKK. Here they put out in their newspaper that they're supporting Trump, and he never condemned them. That was what mainstream media was putting out. And even as I'm looking at some of these videos, like this one is a CNN video, and there was another one, I believe it was Jake Tapper, or may have been the other gentleman that I get confused with, Jake Tapper. But these were on liberal platforms. And I'm realizing, I'm like, yo, was this shown on TV, or did I just miss this? And then I'm thinking, like, well, did my parents miss this? Did my friends miss this? So I don't know whether they just chose not to show these clips, but then I'm wondering, well, how did Officer Tatum have access to the clips? So we may have just been so manipulated, and we have to accept responsibility and accountability for a lot of that, to where I completely just missed this. There's no way that I would have thought that Trump was saying this stuff during that time. I did not know. I was not aware of it. I was the one that was contributing more to the racial division because I did not know that Trump was saying this stuff.
And the KKK.
President Donald Trump signed a congressional joint resolution that condemns white supremacy, neo-Nazis, and other hate groups.
In one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy. Any group of hate, I don't like it. Any group of hate, I am, whether it's white supremacy, whether it's any other kind of supremacy, whether it's Antifa, whether it's any group of hate, I am very concerned about it, and I'll do something about it.
Watching that clip, you seen Donald.
All right, so I want to move on to another part of this. So I don't know if y'all know Rory and Mal. They used to be on the Joe Budden podcast. This was an interesting clip, and then we're going to move on.
Before he ran for office, I never heard nobody call him a racist. People call him an ass.
But he's saying racist stuff now.
But what's racist stuff that he's saying?
The Haitian cat stuff?
What's racist about that?
Well, saying Haitians are
prejudice.
eating cats?
Yeah, Haitians are eating cats.
Or that when he was like a landlord owning all these places, he was very discriminatory against black residents.
I'm discriminatory against black residents in certain buildings. I don't want certain living in my building.
As long as you say it with
if
the
I go
chest.
home tomorrow and I see 17 in the lobby with do-rags on, I'm talking to management like, who is these niggas? Now, I'm from the hood. I don't want to see them in my building.
Keep the YNs
You worked hard to leave?
I worked hard to get away from these. I'm not on them, I love them, but it's like I don't want to go to sleep and hear these in my lobby either. Though. But we don't want to be honest because we feel like, Trump is racist. No, he's not. A racist man is not going to let Jennifer Hudson and her family stay in his building after her family was killed. A racist man is not going to send the jet to pick up Nelson Mandela in Africa once he was free from prison. A racist white man. Why is he doing that if he's racist?
Bro.
Good job, Officer Tatum. I appreciate that video. It's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.